ocean and bring back my Bonnie to me. Bring back, oh bring back my Bonnie to me, to me. Bring back, oh bring back my Bonnie to me. Last night as I lay on my pillow, last night as I lay on my bed, last night as I lay on my pillow, I dreamed that my Bonnie was dead. Oh, bring back, oh bring back my Bonnie to me, to me. Bring back, oh bring back my Bonnie to me. The winds have blown over the ocean, winds have blown over the sea. The winds have blown over the ocean and brought back my Bonnie to me. Oh bring back, oh bring back my Bonnie to me, to me. Bring back, oh bring back my Bonnie to me. Welcome to whoever's watching this. Maybe it's some friends, maybe it's some family. This is the eulogy that I wanted to give my dad that I couldn't. I'm doing this today because I didn't have the wherewithal to do it when we were in the situation, and it's just been nagging at me. You might wonder why I started with that song, and it's because when I was little, my dad sang me 2 songs every single night. He sang My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean, which to this day is just about the saddest song I have ever heard. And he sang Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And to this day, I can't sing either of those songs without completely losing it. Yesterday was June 13th, which was 36 years ago when my mom passed away. And I was 5 and a half, and now my son is 5 and a half. And I thought this would be a fitting day to honor both my father and my mother. She would be 65 and he would be 72. So thanks for tuning in. This might be a little longer. I sure love my dad. He was a really good dad, and I think that a lot of people don't know who he really was, including myself, although I got a better taste of who he was. And I just thought I would share some other pictures that I found. These aren't the pictures that we had at the funeral, and they're pretty cute. And my dad just always, he had such a twinkle in his eye, and he lost a lot of that after my mom died, but he had it when I was a kid too. So here's my dad sticking his head in a pot. And he was just such a goofball. This is a picture of my mom giving him a flower. And this is a picture of my dad doing a push-up. And it's hilarious, and I love this picture, and I don't know why there's a picture of this. And this is a picture of my dad and me, and look how happy he is. This is my dad. This is my real dad right here. A lot of people didn't see that as he got older. This is my dad giving me a bath. This is my dad giving me a bottle. This is me and my mom. I like finding pictures of her where she's really smiling, because they can actually be hard to find. This is my dad, and I look like a lion. And this is a snowman we built together. He was always the first one to be outside building a snow fort really awesome snow forts that he dug out, and snowman. Here's the awesome swing set he put up for me. And this is a favorite. This is me with that. I know the Weingarts know about this hat. We love this hat. It was my dad's favorite hat that he wore everywhere. And here he is with that hat on. And there's some elephants behind us. And you know, he was just so funny. He made me laugh so much, and he laughed so much, and I think people think of him as like quiet or serious or, I don't know, weird. But he was really talkative all the time with me, and he would make me laugh so hard that I couldn't even catch my breath. And we would watch really silly movies together, all the Steve Martin movies and Lampoon's Vacation, and he just thought it was hilarious. Like, he would just laugh and laugh and laugh. There's a favorite comedian of mine, David Mitchell, and in his book, Backstory, he talks about his, I think it's his father's grandfather, who was really pretty stoic, but he would laugh and laugh and laugh at this certain comedian and just the power of comedy and humor to heal. And I think that's how my dad got through a lot of stuff, is by laughing at stuff, which had its pros and cons, but it was mostly pro. And I think that's how I got through a lot of my life. And up to this point, he made me laugh, and I figured, well, if he could laugh right now through what he's going through, I'm gonna try to keep that sense of humor. And he was just so fun. He was hardly ever cross with me. I only can think of him yelling at me twice, and it was deserved. And we just had so much fun. The beach and different amusement parks and fairs and Colonial Park and swinging and feeding ducks and playing this game that I made him play constantly called Post Office, where he would just have to sit there while I kept bringing letters to a post office. I have pictures of doing his hair. I mean, things that you wouldn't think my dad would do. Playing She-Ra dolls. I mean, he did all these things, and he sacrificed a lot. Like, I know what it is to have a 5-year-old now, and it's really hard. And to have my dad just bring me up a little wild girl is pretty amazing. And I'm really proud of him. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. I wouldn't have wanted to be raised by anybody else but my dad, and I'm really grateful that he stuck with it, even though it was really hard. And he didn't talk about my mom very much. So that was a big loss on my part, but I know he grieved so much. He would put on her old records, especially the Melanie records. You know, I got a pair of brand new roller skates, and I would catch him putting them on, and he would just cry and cry for hours. And I think there are certain people that think of my dad in a certain way, and there's two ways to think about every side of a story. And I know my dad was probably not always perfect, because guess what? Nobody is. But he sure was a good dad, for the most part. I had a really good dose of him from birth to 11, and then that's when he started to make some poor decisions. But we're all human, and what can we do? And I just completely forgive him. He was such a sad, lonely person. And after my mom died, I think the spark just went out of his life and went out of his eye. He never really recovered from that. I love this picture, and I want to share it. Those are just two happy people. And I know you probably can't see the pictures that great outside in photo albums. I mean, driving around in this minivan, or this VW bus, I mean, it's just so hilarious. So, I'm just going to show you a couple quick wedding pictures, because there's two in particular that make me really giggle. And one, is this one of the car they were in afterwards, which I just love. Aren't they lovely? I mean, they're really just lovely. And I love this one going under the little bridge. And then there's this one other one of my dad. And you can find, I'm not going to go through all these pictures because I have like 1,000 million pictures of my dad, but there's this one where he's just dancing. He's got that one arm up and there's all these like 70s dudes in the back and he's just like dancing away. And I've got so many pictures of him like that. You just don't think. I have pictures of him just laughing hysterically. I have pictures of him with a big wide smile on his face. He was happy once. And he kind of didn't fare well later, but what can you do, you know? What does my brother always say that my dad says? It is what it is. So it's kind of shiny in there, but you can see that my brother and me and my dad, he liked rocking that mustache a lot later in his life, I noticed. And I love this picture. This is, I hope you can see it. This is my dad with like some sort of Power Ranger hat on at Christmas. And my brother, and it's just, he's such a goofball. He's trying to like do some, I mean, I've got about a gazillion pictures of this man. And they all make me smile. He was always doing something goofy or something funny. He was always, he reminded me of like a weak Jerry Seinfeld. He'd be like, Mel, why don't they make a dry shower? I'd be like, Dad, I don't know why they don't make a dry shower. He'd be like, that'd be so much easier. I know my friend Kathy said she might have a book of his quotes, and if you do, please, let's see some of that. He would say like the weirdest stuff. And so we started to write everything down, and I can't remember a lot of it, except his favorite thing to say, I think I gave him a run for his money. I was pretty spirited, and am still a pretty spirited, fiery person. And he would just be like, oh, Mel, you're a trip, Mel. And he would just make me laugh. He would just make me laugh so much. We would sit and eat TV dinners. We would have dinner races. I know that's probably not appropriate these days, but it was really fun. Just everything he did for me. He had to do so much for a little girl. And I just get that so much now. And so I think that's pretty much all I want to say. I just really love him and I miss him every day. And this is what I had hoped I would have said a couple years ago. So I'm going to end with the prayer for St. Francis. And then I'm going to link you to this song called Chicken Train, which I would have liked to play at his funeral, but I was too embarrassed to ask. And he thought this song was hilarious. I thought this song was hilarious. It's by the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. And when I was about 8 years old, I stepped on the record by accident. He always let me play with the records all the time, and I stepped on that one. And so a couple years later, I got him the CD, and he was like, I don't need this. But it was my way to make up for that. Anyway, I'm going to link the song Chicken Train, running all day. But I'm going to end peacefully with this prayer for St. Francis. And I hope that this was a good 15 minutes of your life spent. And I thank you all and love you all. Shout out to the Moranos because you guys are awesome. All right. Prayer to St. Francis. Just a little bit of it. It's a universal peace dance song. So let's see. I think that's right. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. For it's in giving that we receive, and it's in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it's in dying that we are born to eternal life, and it's in dying that we are born to eternal life. Blessings to you, Dad. Blessings to you, Mom. Blessings to everybody. Peace.